own outside 2 to 3 people. That shows how firmly
Aman, just interrupting you there briefly. The Prime Minister at the DM, accompanied by Yogi Adityanath and his other proposers, I believe. He's now presenting his papers. The papers are going to be checked, I believe, Rahul. And then, of course, some formalities are going to be completed. Yogi Adityanath very much a step behind the Prime Minister. Anytime he's in UP, actually, this is a facet. Anytime the Prime Minister is in UP, you know, Yogi Adityanath is always with him. And there he is sitting along with his proposers, I believe.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, this is obviously an expression of the double engine that the Prime Minister always talks about. The fact that, look, if you get government at the state level and a complementary government at the center, things look up for governance, etc. So I think that's a duality that he is sort of building on. But remember, as I told you, this is a very, very important part of the world and the contest. Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, the Hindi belt, there is therefore an amplification of the Hindutva symbolism also, because it helps tie together the BJP's core vote base. And if the BJP can continue to retain that voter base, even in an election with lower turnout, it automatically approaches closer to the 272 mark. And that is... And let me just go across to Siddhant for more on this. Siddhant, can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you,
We can
Rahul.
see the Prime Minister now with his proposals. If you can just talk us through who these are and the importance of this occasion.
Well, as far as the proposals of Prime Minister are concerned, Rahul, then the message of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas is very much clear, and perhaps that is the message which Prime Minister wants to send out. And after doing a proper homework, these proposals have been perhaps selected. Yeah. They have been chosen for the nomination of Prime Minister. Now, talking about Gyaneshwar Shastri, Pandit Gyaneshwar Shastri, he's a renowned astrologer in Varanasi, and he's somebody, Rahul, who gave the date, the Mahurat of the Pran Pratishtha of Ramlala. So he is one of the proposers. Perhaps his name was decided, his name was confirmed this morning only. Then Sanjay Sonkar, Shivani spoke to Sanjay Sonkar a short time back. A dedicated BJP Karyakarta, comes from a Dalit community, works really hard for party and Sangathan to keep the party and Sangathan intact in Varanasi. Was a proposer of Prime Minister in the last elections also. Then Baidyanath Patel again comes from the OBC community, a dedicated worker of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh and like-minded organizations. So these are the...
Well, Siddhant, I remember last time in 2019, Professor Annapurna Shukla was also there, and that was also quite the moment, because the Prime Minister touched her feet before he actually entered the nomination center, the collector's office. And she was, of course, a brilliant scientist in her own right, someone who had studied medicine in Britain. She was also brought to the Banaras Hindu University, if I'm not mistaken, by Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, who was, of course, from where, of course, this entire process, the Prime Minister sort of set off yesterday on his route, his road show through Varanasi from actually the Madan Mohan Malviya gate in Banaras. And then, of course, it has brought him here to the nomination center, all the final. If you're just speaking over these visuals, you can see now, of course, Panditji also coming out with the Prime Minister, Yogi Adityanath right behind him. Many people, of course, see Yogi Adityanath as perhaps the torchbearer of the BJP in the future, suppose the distant future. But as of now, of course, very important, pivotal moment in this campaign, viewers. We are halfway through. This is phase 4 done, about 300 odd seats, 380 odd seats now done through. So the BJP, of course, is expecting to cross the halfway mark in this particular phase itself. That's what they have said. Siddhant, what happens next? The Prime Minister then goes for this closed door meeting, we are told, in a little while, or what happens next exactly?
Well, look, Rahul, Prime Minister is a star campaigner of BJP, so he has got a lot of responsibility. In fact, Aman was telling me yesterday, by the end of this election season, he could be doing more than 200 rallies and road shows. So he cannot dedicate a full time to Varanasi constituency. Now, the messaging within the cadre and the people here, Rahul, is that we are going to give this constituency to Prime Minister when he'll be elected for the third time as a Prime Minister of a country with the margin of 8 lakh plus votes. So that's the target that BJP people have set for Prime Minister this time around. So immediately after the nomination here, Rahul, we have been told there could be a photo op also, the NDA leaders walking behind Prime Minister Modi. That would perhaps would be high on optics. That can also take place inside the collector's office, or perhaps when they come out. Post this, there he's going to go to Rudraksh Convention Center, where he will be meeting 50,000 karyakartas, not just from of BJP, not just from Varanasi, but whole of Purvanchal. Rahul, once Purvanchal was infamous for mafias, gang warfare, illegal weapons. Now Purvanchal is witnessing transformation, not just Varanasi, because of Prime Minister Modi and obviously Yogi Adityanath, who comes from adjoining district, nearby district of Gorakhpur. Because of these two leaders, Purvanchal has got new energy, and the new wave of development transformation is taking place. Even nearby Chandoli, one of the backward districts of UP, is today witnessing lot of projects coming up, roads being built. So it's not just Varanasi, it's whole of Purvanchal which will see the impact of the mega road show which took place yesterday in Varanasi, and also this entire event, the nomination event of Prime Minister.
That's a good point, Siddhant. Very good
Modi.
point.
And
Also, of course, viewers, let's not forget that as we go forward, a large number of union ministers and, of course, other high-ranking officials of the Bharatiya Janata Party will be drafted in, so to speak, to Varanasi. They will be spending a lot of time here canvassing for the Prime Minister. Incidentally, today, viewers, it's rather interesting. The Prime Minister will make his way to Jharkhand. He's also going to go across in the ensuing days to different parts of Uttar Pradesh, Purvanchal mostly, to ensure that just before the next phase, which is really going to be centered now more so in the north as we go forward, and therefore the BJP is also expecting a boost in the turnout, hopefully going forward for them. But the fact is, viewers, this is the business end really of the election now. The Prime Minister filing his nomination, and beyond that, hoping for that escape velocity in number of seats to project his ambitions to 400 plus. Whether that actually happens or not, whether it's just a target to galvanize the cadres, we don't know, or maybe even change the narrative, the conversation. The Prime Minister mentioned to one of our colleagues yesterday in an interview, Amish Devgan, that look, by doing so, I made the opposition only really talk about whether I'll get to 400, not about whether they can actually end up defeating me. So my